So I know last time.
Here we go. And we're live Tuesday night, time for the GT4 series of Midwest Motorsports to lay down some horsepower. I'm James J. I'm joined with Adam Sondag. We are at the Long Beach Grand Prix road racing tonight for an endurance race, 100 minutes. We'll expect 2 pit stops. And after that, anybody knows the start is going to be something to watch. It's going to be amazing. We're glad you're here. Adam, I'm glad you're here. How you doing tonight, and what do you think we're going to see?
Hey, James, good to be here. I think we're going to see some interesting development. I mean, I think this is the first time that we've done a long extended race here at Long Beach. We've had a lot of action here at Long Beach. I myself have destroyed a car here at Long Beach. So we'll see. I mean, it's long enough that if you do get involved with the walls, you might have time for your repairs to bear out. So it's going to get dark here. We know that. So that should get really interesting here for the broadcast, but also the drivers picking their lines. And if their spots they've picked for braking are susceptible to the light.
That's right. So much drama in the LBC, as my man Snoop Dogg says. I hope we don't see too much drama tonight. But surprise, surprise, we have a newcomer to the GT4 this season, not a newcomer to Midwest Motorsports. Johan de Roy was the F4 champion. Well, I'm sorry, F3. When we raced F3, Johan de Roy is back, and he's fast. He has not lost any speed. He's put it on the pole. Chase Fincher qualified second. We'll start on the front row with him. Shea McNeely, Brian Coxon will share row 2. John Daniels, Jason Phillips will share row 3. Michael Odell, your points leader, shares row 4 with Logan Bowl. So the start procedure is going to be something to watch coming out of the hairpin, especially. We are going to have race control start for
Yeah, this
Johan de
is a
Roy.
change.
It'll be
This is a
tricky.
change over normal. Used to be when the pace car would go into the pit, it was on the lead driver, but that has led to people not getting out of the hairpin in the back of the field. So this time they have an extended pace lap. Here it's a little longer than it was previously, and then race control will give over control to the leader when appropriate. So hopefully a little more orderly, and the people at the back of the field will have a chance to make a mistake in the hairpin later down the line and not right here on the on the start of this race.
Right. Here we are in the last 3 turns before the hairpin. And then we'll have plenty of time to double up out of the hairpin, especially in the back of the field. We have a huge field. Once again, Midwest Motorsports, 28 cars, 27 with Christopher Hopper, unfortunately dropping out. Still having plenty of time. Adam gives us the great shot here from the blimp as everybody takes their time doubling up. Chase Fincher and Johan de Roy are being very patient to give everybody plenty of time to double up and see if Jason Phillips and John Daniels tighten up just a little bit with Michael Odell and Logan Bolt, and they get the green, and we're off. It looks like everybody's made it through the hairpin, according to the M&Ms on the screen. Pace Fincher pulls it off with the whole shot, qualified second, looking back from Johan de Roy at Shea McNeely's Porsche. In second, John Daniels got in front of Brian Coxon and Michael Odell in front of Jason Phillips. Logan Bowl dropped back to 8th, Travis Rowe 9th, DJ Barzak P10. Ron Kabilta is your AM division leader, ahead of the AM class already. And we have Chase Fincher out front early. Oh, we got a spinner. Looks like Jason Phillips goes around. I don't know if he got some help. We'll have time to watch a replay. So far, they're single file. Jason Phillips does a good job staying out of the way. If he hit the wall, he probably has damage and will need some repairs. Not the way Jason Phillips wanted his race to start. Chase Fincher, Johan de Roy, Shea McNeely around the hairpin for the first time in anger. John Daniels makes it around. Everybody else single file. And we're underway for 100 minutes. Going to expect 2 pit stops. We made it through. Looks like a great start for these guys, which is what we want to see. Nobody wants their race to be ruined. On lap 1, great start. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, good to see everybody get through here clean on the start. Hopefully that spin, we'll take a look here in a moment and see what happened to Jason Phillips, but I'd imagine it wasn't too bad. Might be early to try to get into your fast repair, but uh, time to recover from it. Fortunately, it won't be the first or last time that somebody touches a wall here on this race, as we see the smoke of Brian Coxon going through the turn.
Yeah, lighten them up. Maybe cold tires for Jason Phillips. I know he mentioned the Mercedes having a hard time squirting out of the corners. It was like Shea McNeely may have hit the wall as he got steering damage. Something's like he's got a hard pull to the right, just staying out of the way of Michael Odell and Brian Coxon. I think Shea McNeely must have hit a wall, but yeah, his car is pulling a hard right. So he's going to come into the pit. We'll have to remember that. Shea McNeely trying to get around the hairpin, and he does. He's going to come into the pit for a repair.
Yeah, using a little extra English there from the
Man,
Porsche power plant to get that thing steered. I can't imagine on most people's wheels getting that down. This is one race where road racers oftentimes will change their steering so that they have an easier chance getting through that hairpin. But you get your elbows bent up getting through there. So hopefully a quick repair here for Shea should get him back on the road.
we also have Kevin Bridges in the pit. He must have had a bad first lap, but we'll see if we can find Shea McNeely's incident and Jason Phillips later on the road. Jason Phillips down to 17th. It looks like he's stayed out. He did not come into pit, so he's going to try to recover with his existing damage. Maybe he didn't have much damage. P7 for Justin Thaler. That's a great start for Justin.
Yeah, Jason may have been able to keep it clean there and just be down to staying out of the way while the pretty consolidated field moves by. So be good to see if he can make his way through. He's got plenty of time to charge, and I know he's already thinking maybe he wants to change his strategy.
As he makes a move on Aaron Mitchell now to get up to 16th. Aaron Mitchell looks like, did he stay with the M3 or go to the M4? I know he's thinking about it. Here's Jason Phillips in the Big S Fans black and yellow Mercedes coming on. Oh, just cold tires putting on the power. I know you mentioned he didn't like the gear ratios on the Mercedes coming out of the corners, especially at low RPM. So maybe he just got the timing wrong, trying to put the power down on corner exit. Got it wrong. No contact with the wall, maybe just very slight damage.
Yeah, it looks
On
like
the
he
rear
got
bumper.
it squared on the nose, so it shouldn't impact any of his control arms or his toe or anything like that. So uh, that's a better place to hit usually than on the side on these cars.
Qualified P6, so I expect him to just crank out some consistent laps and a recovery ride, unfortunately, for Jason Phillips tonight. John Daniels up to P3 with Shea McNeely dropping back. That moves everybody up a spot. Brian Coxon fourth. Oh, I'm hearing Shea McNeely has dropped out of the race. Doesn't want to run with from the back. So John Daniels, let's see if he can keep pace with Johan DeRoy and Chase Fincher, or are those two going to pull away? The gap right now, right at 4 seconds. Brian Coxon in the McLaren. John Daniels in the Aston Martin. David Stark was in the Stern hairpin tobacco last season. So he made it through this time. He's up 5 spots to P11.
I wonder if
Robert
John Daniels
Snar
got
up
a
6. Good.
slowdown there because he kind of pulled off the line and stopped to let.
Oh, Kevin Bridges around. Oh, there's slicing and dicing behind. Kevin Bridges in the McLaren did a 180 right on corner exit. I believe Justin Thaler got a piece of it. Kevin Bridges does a good job to rejoin safely again, but nowhere for. I know he came out of the pits, so he was already lapped down. Nowhere for Justin Thaler to go. He might have a little bit of damage. Move him up a spot. Here's a replay. They all get by. Oh, that was just after Taylor went by, but here he is trying to find a clean spot to make it to the other side of the track. Doing his best to stay out of the way. Can appreciate that. Just not the way Kevin wanted to start his race. No, he's already been in the pits, maybe for a fast repair. So might have to sit and wait on this one or drive with the damage. Francis Faustino, P8. Great job for him, up 6 positions.
Yeah, and it is hard in these GT4 cars since this is a fixed series. The traction control is set, so you can't turn the traction control off and do a nice little fishtail to turn around. You do have to put in some effort to get these cars turned around, and it's not always easy when you're trying to time it perfectly and you have the limitations of the walls here in the narrow course. So a lot of times you're liable to take some extra damage trying to get spun back around if you're not careful.
Yeah, I feel for Kevin because he was really trying hard not to get involved with anybody else. So had to go fast enough to get in the wall, and then it's hard to stop before you hit the wall again.
Yeah, it's almost
So
more stressful to get yourself righted there on course and not impact anybody, more so than it is to be chased by somebody.
DJ Barzak trying to find a hole. DJ Barzak right behind Francis Faustino, and he also has David Stark right behind CJ. So this is a race for 8, 9, and 10. Going down the long front straight. Start another lap. Turn 1. Filling up and also blocking behind, so that's good. DJ Barzak in the multicolor AMG Mercedes. Moving around the fountain. Not many places to pass here on Long Beach, Adam. Or are there? Where's your favorite place to pass?
I don't know that I have a favorite place to pass here, but I think that there are definitely places where you can definitely get things done. Heavy braking into turn 1, a lot of mistakes happen there. Not a lot of room getting into the fountain itself, but work can be done there, and it's easy to get somebody into making a mistake there. So I think that's a big spot here. Then once you sort of start getting toward the back, before the hairpin there's a couple places where you might be able to get somebody offline and take advantage.
Yeah, I agree. Turn 1 is definitely the most obvious place, but you really have to either surprise somebody or get a good run out of the hairpin and slipstream. Hopefully, by the time you go too wide, leave enough room on both sides. Let's see if CJ Barzak can get a good run right up on the rear bumper now of Francis Faustino. Francis holding a strong line right on the pit wall. See if he goes defense or takes the apex. CJ Barzak shows him. Francis knows his braking zone and does a great job staying off the wall. Turn 1 exit. We carry on. It's a long race. Looking at 1 hour 30 minutes left.
Yeah, it's a really long run there from the start stop line to the first turn. So there's a lot of time for CJ to position himself in Francis's mirrors, try to dummy where he's going to go. We've seen him dummy to the inside for the past couple laps here to suggest that he might go in there just to see if he can get Francis to throw that block and take the outside with more speed. But Francis has been consistent.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think Francis is holding CJ up at all as they're trying to pursue Travis Rowe just up ahead. So maybe they can work together and work on catching Travis Rowe and then fight it out for position during the pit strategies. A lot of times it definitely benefits both of you, if you can work together as the headlights are already starting to shine. Going to continue to get darker and darker as the night goes on, and Francis Faustino blinks just enough to throw us off. A lot of information on the screen you can see. Oh, Chase Fincher with the fastest lap that time. 24.052. Johan DeRoy had the fastest lap at a 24.150. So 1/10 of a second faster. Chase Fincher up front. This is the battle for third, fourth, and fifth. Ryan Coxon has got around Michael Odell. John Daniels has dropped back to sixth. Looks like everybody got around John Daniels. Must have been a small mistake. All good now. Brian Coxon, Michael Odell, and Logan Bull. I don't know how much these guys want to work together. They are the cream of the crop when it comes to the points, well, at least with Brian Coxon. Michael Odell currently leading the points by 305 points. Brian Coxon in third. Chase Fincher leading the race in second. In the points, still early in the season. Well, we're about halfway through the schedule. Long Beach is race 8 of 16, so after this we'll be halfway.
Yeah, you mentioned John Daniels. I'm not sure if he had a slowdown or what. I know that he did pull offline and let about 2 or 3 cars past him a couple laps ago. So I'm not sure if he might have something wrong with his equipment or if he is giving slowdown penalties, or maybe he just doesn't feel he has the pace today. I'm not quite sure what that
That's
was,
right,
but
Adam.
I know he at least at some point did go offline and let the cars through. So maybe something going on with him we might figure out later.
You did mention that. I apologize. It also looks like Ron Cabiltes may have made a mistake. He has dropped out of the AM division lead, and Ian Bakaitis now has taken over the number 1 spot in the AM division and P14 overall. So this is the battle for the lead. Chase Fincher coming at us. Ooh, with the new best time, 24.037. Chase Fincher has got those tires warmed up and cranking out some laps, pulling away ever so slightly from Johan DeRoy.
Yeah, they look pretty comfortable. They've picked up about a second or two here from the past couple laps. So I think this distance is pretty perfect for them, where Johan can do what he wants and Chase can make his time without being hassled. And, they're clearing their space and pulling away. So amount of time left, there's no urgency for these two to try to start dogfighting here. Jason Phillips continuing his recovery drive here. Looks like he's picked up a couple places up to 11th now after he was back down into 17th. So
Nice
we'll have
braking
to see
move
if
on
he's
Jesse
enjoying.
Coffey.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he's enjoying the chase and the thrill of having 90 minutes to get back to the front of the pack, or if this is stressful for him.
Got to give full credit to Jason Phillips. He's one of those guys, just puts his head down and gets on with the job at hand. Almost made it back to his starting spot already. Robert Snar up the road.
Jason, I think, as much as anybody understands that the idea of sim racing is to have a good time and have fun. That's why it's a hobby. And I think that's great to think of and great to focus on and remember when you get mad at what's happening here, that this all exists to have fun.
No doubt about it. And I think that's the attitude that a lot of these guys take up and down the paddock here. We're watching a replay of Logan Bull going down the long straightaway into turn 1. Oh no, missed his braking zone. Crunch in the front right into the wall. car just didn't want to turn and brake at the same time, asking too much of the front tires. Finally getting it
Yeah,
underway.
it's a rough spot to reintegrate there because there's not a lot of room to get in there, and people take tight lines and wide lines, so you really can't stick to one spot. So that's a horrifying place to be stuck. It's I've been there before in that wall. Many good drivers have been in that wall.
Yes, it's almost its own wall of champions. As you work so hard to try to maintain as much lap time as you can and maintain speed through turn one. So easy to get it wrong just a little bit, and that's the result. Like you said, almost everybody's been there. Francis Faustino got CJ Barzak on the inside now, turn one. Once again, see if they go too wide through the fountain. Francis Faustino gives up the ghost and holds strong with David Stark right behind. So moves CJ Barzak up a spot. Nice job for Francis realizing that not worth the battle. Just pick your battles. David Stark now putting on some pressure on Francis Faustino. Stark looks like he's still running the M3 version of the BMW. Be wrong. Nope, that's M4. Michael Odell might be the only one still running the M3. Suits his driving style. And David Stark make a move on Francis, not this lap, not this corner. We're headed back to the hairpin one more time.
This is my first look at the new BMW cockpit. I know drivers of the new BMW have been happy at the placement of this particular heads-up display. Nice gauges there, right in the line of vision.
Tire attempts probably not going to show us what they show him, but I agree. The lights,
Yeah,
all
there's
the
a lot of good
information.
information in there, and usually it ends up being a mix of trying to see how much information you can include without having a terrible perspective on what driving the car should look and feel like.
We're riding around with,
This solves a lot of that.
yeah, absolutely. The more information you have definitely helps you understand your race situation on the fly. And a good heads up display is so important. Being able to read, especially with my old eyes, not having so much information that you have to squint to read the numbers. The lights right on top helping you shift. Don't look now. We're riding with David Stark. Coming up behind 2.5 seconds back is Jason Phillips. As that was John Daniels and Brian Coxon going at it. Was that Jason? Okay, we're riding with Jason Phillips now. Sorry, it's already getting dark. Here's John Daniels. I thought he had pressure from behind. I was wrong. May have been a lap car in front of Francis. Yeah, they're 9 seconds back. So all good. Ooh, it's getting dark. No street lights. And we have an hour and 19 minutes to go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You're just gonna have to bear with us and take our word for it. We might have a lot of in-car cameras tonight. We'll do the best we can, bringing you the shots. Michael Odell's got around Brian Coxon. They're 11 seconds back from the leaders.
We've got rolling power outages here in California, but appears to be plenty of power here for Brian Coxon coming out of the hairpin.
Plenty of power right behind the driver's seat. Michael Odell once again loving the BMW M3. And he made a move on Brian Cox and got around him. 11 seconds. Jace Fincher has pulled out over 1.2 seconds. Johan DeRoy, so that's going to be something to watch when it comes down to pit strategy. Do you remember the tire wear, Adam?
I don't think, I mean, especially I think here with this getting into night, the surface should be cooling down a little bit, so it shouldn't be as hard. I have noticed a few of the cars, a few of the drivers going through the fountain do appear to be sort of understeering and really putting a lot of stress on their front tires. But um, I would think people would try to, if they're going to take tires, get to maybe the second pit stop. So I think it really depends on how close people are, and I think that we're in with this length and with this track, especially the leaders being 11 seconds out. Somebody in this second group might think that taking tires is too much time, where they can pick that up cheap in the pit lane if they think that other people might take them. So it'll be curious to see here what people actually are going to do.
I agree. Very curious. As Jason Phillips tries to work his way around. I don't think that's David Stark, 51. I think that's Brian Sarton, maybe? No, Nick Calguru. Lap car. I hope he lets Jason go. Of course, he's not obligated. Jason can blink his lights, let him know he's coming. But the fight for Jason Phillips is up the road. Calguru's going to force it too wide into the hairpin. Elbows up driving from Nicholas Calguru. I would expect nothing less. Robert Snar now right behind Jason Phillips. Oh, as Calguru into the tire wall. That's going to let Snar get back side by side with Jason Phillips. Let's see if Snar lets Jason go. He doesn't necessarily let him go. Jason Phillips does a good job leaving plenty of room for Snar. Totally respectful racing, like we mentioned earlier. You see it up and down the field. And Jason Phillips get the crossovers to go down the back stretch. Oh, Adam, you know the name of the street. I don't. I forget right now. Seaside? Shoreline. No, that's Seaside.
Yeah, it looks like Robert got compromised his entry there to make sure he got inside that turn there on Jason, but just didn't get the run out of it. He was able to make his way there down the hill, but not able to hold it with enough speed down the back stretch.
Good on
Smart
Jason
from
Phillips. Yep. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
smart for Jason just to back it up and make sure he got that drive.
Yep, that could have been really ugly with Calguru nosing into the tire wall on corner exit. Jason did a great job to make sure that he didn't get collected in that. And then make his move.
Yeah, this is a tough section to be driving in your mirrors. You don't really want to be worried about what's behind you going through that section. Going through the fountain section, it's very much hitting your marks and going forward and making sure you have the car control you need. So if you're at all worried about what's happening behind you, you're likely to clip that sidewall there and have some trouble. So
Especially in the dark with only the headlights and muscle memory to show you around, show you the way. Like Ian Bacaitis says, hold away from Ron Cabiltas. Only a little. We are riding with Jason Phillips now, the Big Ass fans. Now we're over with Ian. Ian in the black and red 22. Jesse Coffey right ahead. We got somebody. Nope. I thought they might be coming in the pits. They're just hanging on the pit wall. Jesse Coffey in the blue Porsche. Going around the hairpin. Does he make contact? Oh, gets hit by Nicholas Calguru. Little into the braking zone. Does Calguru Get into the right rear. Riding with Jesse Coffee. Here comes Calguru. Yeah, contact and Jesse Coffee. Oh, stuck on the hairpin wall. Calguru, I hope, lets him go. Coffee lets Calguru go. Oh, 75 Jesse Coffee still going slow. Damage as Ian Bakaitis, Ron Kaviltas
He may have had
get
more
by.
trouble here.
75 is who we're looking at. Oh, yep. Car just
Oh
didn't want to
no.
turn. Now he's
Yeah,
got damage on the left front as well.
that might necessitate a stop there in the pit.
So things go from bad to worse for Jesse Coffee. First half of that wasn't all his fault. Trying to bring a damaged car home to at least to the pit stop, as the first pit window is open.
Looks like he did stay out.
Okay.
Managed to escape any damage that's undrivable, so his wheel appears to be straight, so that's good news, at least just something to settle down for and settle in for another 70 minutes of racing.
David Stark, Francis Faustino still going at it for 7th and 8th. Or is this Jason Phillips coming right behind David Stark now? Yes. As Jason Phillips, he has caught 2.2 seconds up in about 3 laps. So Jason Phillips showing the speed. Remember, he dropped all the way down to 17th or 18th after a self-inflicted spin. Oh, hard under braking. Does he make it? David Stark must have seen him, let him go. You know, I don't blame him if David Stark recognizes that it's Jason Phillips and he's coming through. David Stark, after last season especially, got a good start. He wants to have a good experience here, riding in the top 10. Pick your battles. Let Jason go.
Yeah, nice assertive move from Jason. No doubt there he was going for it, and I think smart on David Stark's part to continue driving with a drivable car. You can either give up one position or 10.
That's right. And, you know, end up in the wall or seeing red, the red mist. Everybody keeping it cool. Francis Faustino next on Jason Phillips' list, driving through the field, 2.5 seconds up for now.
Yeah, this is a nice drive for Francis here. Starting out very well for him, running firmly in the top 10.
Again, he had a really good run at Misano last week, and finishing 5th, I believe. So he's carrying that momentum here today.
Looks like Jesse Coffey's going to have to serve a drive-through for incidents here, so that's unfortunate. And getting word from race control that Nicholas Calguru as well. So tough way to start the first 20 minutes or so of the 30 minutes of the race here to pick up a drive-through. That's not what you need, and really it's defeating mentally to take a drive-through here when this course just takes so much out of you. Then you watch everybody else fly by down that long pit straight.
No service allowed on your drive-through, so
Right.
you're right, man. A long pit lane as well. So you're down at least 30 seconds, maybe more.
Yeah. Double parking, quite common here on this stretch of road. Not something you like to do.
Definitely not. Steve Hansel in a replay. Oh, tried to turn in, realized he missed his braking spot, used the escape road perfectly. Easy to do in the dark and gets out of there with only an off track maybe for using the runoff.
Less is more.
Smart decision making there. On the fly for Steve Hansel.
Yeah, they give you the space, you may as well use it.
Definitely. Much better than having any damage. Sitting in the pits waiting for repairs. Oh, no, Cabiltas is in the pits. AM division fight. The pit lane has started. Pit stops are starting to cycle through. Jesse Coffee serving his drive through. I assume.
Yeah, looks like he just went straight through for the drive-through there.
And maybe Cabiltas too, because Cabiltas, I don't think he stopped. Or did he?
I believe he should
Yeah,
have.
17.2.
Real treacherous pit exit here. As
Yeah.
you exit out into turn one, it's something that you're certainly thinking about on your way out as you're checking your relative and checking your overlay map if you have one, and seeing everyone coming and just praying that they meant that you missed them, so you're not trying to dodge that coming out.
Great point. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. Anybody exits, it's really tempting to use the pit exit as your entry. Oh, Johan DeRoy, the leaders now. Getting around Nicholas Calgary. Thank you, sir. So that mountain is overcome. Getting around Calguru is the leader. Still 1.1 seconds for Johan DeRoy. Behind Chase Fincher, we're riding with Michael Odell. And Brian Coxon only 1 second behind.
Looks like trouble for the number 2 of Justin Thaler.
Oh, no. Here we are, Justin Thaler, the white Porsche with the yellow wheels. Leave third in this group. Oh, hit
Oh
the inside
no.
wall. We pushed him out. Oh, darn. Did he reset? Go straight to the pit? Did he get
Yeah,
tow?
that's going to require some fast repairs. Seems like you have as much room as you could use on that turn until you don't.
Yeah, especially on the inside at night. Um,
Yeah, the crash barrier there on
turn
the
8.
outside of the turn starts getting really narrow if you don't make the angle of that pretty wide.
Yeah, I think he hit the inside wall at turn 8 as he turned in.
Yeah, he clipped the inside and it sent him straight over into the
Oof.
outside wall. So it's
Ouch.
twice bitten.
Jason Phillips has made those 2.2 seconds up. Robert Snar putting pressure on David Stark again. So these guys have resumed their battle after Jason Phillips made his way through. Robert Snar and David Stark. Francis Faustino's up the road a little bit, but these guys very familiar with each other. They've been racing together almost the whole race.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm been jealous for David Stark. He's always got a dance partner. Seems like no matter how the race is going, he's got somebody with him to have a nice race with and work with. So that's what you're looking for. That's what you get out of this that you're not going to get elsewhere is having that nice competitive battle with somebody.
Direct competition, the rush of adrenaline. You're trying to match your lap times and drive defensively. Michael Odell. Oh, it looks like Jason Phillips in the pits. We'll keep an eye on his lap time as we watch Michael Odell and Brian Coxon going at it. Yeah, Jason Phillips makes his pit stop with 103 left, so right at 37 minutes as this Michael Odell takes this lap to come in and pit as well. See if Brian Coxon can overcut a lap. Jason Phillips stop time 35 seconds. Definitely took tires.
Yeah, that Mercedes might be pushing here for him through these turns. Looks like CJ Barsak and Francis Faustino also electing to pit.
If any games are being played there.
If you're not sure when to go, it's not a bad idea to go when Jason Phillips goes.
That's right. Or your closest competitor.
Michael Odell back on his way out.
And his pit stop, 37 seconds as well. So Kabiltas came in a little earlier. It looks like he took fuel only. He's going to take tires at his second stop. Wonder if these guys are going to go the rest of the way. On one set, as Chase Fincher, your leader, comes in. That leaves Johan DeRoy for the lead. Trying to do the overcut now. We'll see if it pays off. Right at 40 minutes, which is usually the max run time on a full tank. So now do you split this 30-30? The regular race to go now.
I think the longer you go, the shorter your fill is going to be. I have to imagine that's what people are thinking, to try to shave a couple seconds on the fill and try to maximize that time.
40, 40, 20 or thereabouts. The 3 stints, 2 stops. I like it. Johan DeRoy in the Aston Martin in his return to Midwest Motorsports, working his way around the final turns 10 and 11. And Johan comes into the pits as we watch Jesse Coffey with Ron Kabiltas right in front. Just ahead. Jesse Coffey's been fast almost everywhere we go. Had some bad luck earlier, but he's got the car fixed, pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I spent more time on pit lane than I'm sure he'd like to, but he's still in a decent position to get into the top 10 here. Looks like now he'll have to take his actual pit, I believe.
Right.
So that might mix him down a little further, so we'll see where he ends up then. Probably somewhere around Calguru there, who's in 19th, so we'll see how that works out.
Jason Mitchell has caught up with Aaron Mitchell. I'm sorry, Jason Phillips caught up with Aaron Mitchell now, going through turn 6 and 7 and 8. Turn 8 where Taylor pinballed both walls. Jason Phillips pops out, tucks back in. You know, Jason's got the pace. He needs to get a good drive out of the hairpin. Maybe you can get him into turn 1. Aaron Mitchell goes defensive and then leaves the outside lane as Aaron Mitchell comes into pit. Just what Jason Phillips needs to move up a spot. Jason is in front of Francis Faustino. After Francis is pit stop. Jason Phillips back up to P7 on merit. The leaders, looks like Johan DeRoy has overcut Chase Fincher. Let's see if that was a pit stop. 37 to longer pit stop, actually, for Johan DeRoy. So it was all about the outlap and the in lap. Put Johan DeRoy back in front. That is amazing. Almost identical. Only a half a second separates the pit stop. So it's getting in the pit lane on that in lap, getting out on the out lap, and Johan DeRoy exited the pits just in front of Chase Fincher. And now Chase Fincher has to go back on attack mode. As we are riding with him, looking up at Johan DeRoy in the purple and black Aston Martin.
Yeah, even if that overcut worked, I think Chase is in a perfect position here just to stick with him. If you find a moment that you think you can make work, go for it. If not, I think he'd be perfectly happy to ride around. They still have almost 12 seconds of lead over Michael Odell in third as they both hit the outside wall.
Both. That's right. I guess it's not a Darlington stripe, but they're both losing their driver's side mirror or their left side mirror. We don't need it anyway. We're only looking up ahead.
Yeah, using their Aussie V8 supercars skills on the street courses, the drivers notoriously will see how close they can get to the walls by seeing if they can knock their mirrors in. And when you knock
That's
your
right.
mirror in, you know where the limit is to the wall. So now they both know, and you can use that for the next hour.
Amazing to me how consistent and fast these guys are up front in the pro division, especially. Fastest lap is for Chase Fincher, 24:03 to a 24:04 for Johan DeRoy. Almost identical that times down to the 100th.
Yeah, really fast time. The only other person to get below 124.1 appears to be Brian Coxon at this point. So
Coming up on Chris Thaler. Chris goes wide and lets him go. Thank you, Chris. The father of the Godfather, Taylor Brothers. 21. I'm sorry, that's Ian Bakaitis. 22 car. Looking up at Justin Glickner. This is for position. Justin Glickner missed last week. Some work duties in real life, and I'm sure he's happy to be back in the rig. He leads Ian Bakaitis through turn one. Ron Kabiltas is taking back over P1 in the AM class.
yeah, just a little down the road from that battle.
Ian Bakaitis, Taylor Montague, 5 seconds behind these guys. So, and Ian Bakaitis keep up with Justin Glickner. Not that turn. Ian Bakaitis using all the steering angles to exit the corner. Just a little bit further away. "54 minutes to go, and everybody needs one more stop at least." Jason Phillips and CJ Barzak. Jason in 7th is called back up to CJ. With Cal Guru just up ahead. DJ says, I've been here before. almost getting a launch over the curbing on the inside of turn 9. DJ squares up the hairpin to get a good exit. Cal Guru sacrificed his exit with the inside line to the hairpin. Let's see if Jason Phillips can also get by. I hope Cal Guru will lift and let him go. Jason Phillips on the inside, making his presence known. Cal Guru not going to give. Finally, he does now. Jason Phillips is through that. Now he can focus forward.
Yeah, they came through turn 1 probably a little tighter than they may have been comfortable with, but they made it through there clean, and that's all you can ask for. Jason with another assertive inside move there to T1.
Make your presence known early and clear. Cal Guru is only 2 laps down, so I'm sorry, only on the same lap. No, that wasn't for position, so all good.
Looks like Ian Bakaitis has run into some trouble.
No. What happened to Ian? Turn 1. Oh, crunch into the tire wall. Just the car won't stop. Slammed on the binders. Downshift, engine braking as much as you can. When you're on the brakes that hard, the car just doesn't rotate. Maybe you need to adjust your brake bias throughout the run as your tires wear and your fuel changes.
Yeah, not your favorite place to test out the new damage model on the car there, as you saw the front bumper fly off. So it looks like he got an immediate tow on that. So hopefully he has his fast repair to get back on the track here shortly.
That was at the very beginning of a lap, so he only loses the time it takes to get back out of the pit lane. Don't look now, Brian Coxon, 23.9, new fastest lap of the race. We're riding with Yolanda Roy, with Chase Fincher right behind. 3/10. I mean, there's nothing. Here's Brian Coxon in 4th. Michael Odell right up ahead. Oh, as well. Throw a blanket on him. Waiting for a mistake.
Yeah, it looks like Brian was just off a little bit there going through that section, slowed him down. Had him run a little wider than he might have wanted to.
One of the most relaxed drivers I've ever met, Brian Coxon. Had the pleasure of talking to him on the cool down lap after his season last season with Jason Phillips. Missing out on the championship by 25 points. Brian Coxon does not get too excited behind the wheel. Johan DeRoy now 4/10 of a second for Chase Fincher. So this is the lead. The race for the lead. Where's Chase going to make his move? You're going to wait for a mistake. You might be waiting for a while if that's the case. Now, hang with him. 50 minutes to go, 49 minutes left in the race.
Well, that might have been close to cutting the course there for Johan. It's tough with those little sort of bump curbs there through that turn,
Right.
those little hurdles. You definitely want to get after them to make that rotation, because that wall does close up quicker than you think it does. But it's very easy to get too far inside and you get in trouble with race control.
Hopefully you can find the limit during practice. Not have to test it too much, I believe. 15 is the incident points for a drive-through. It's almost like there's a curbing and then little rumple strips on the inside of those. I think 4 wheels inside the red and white curbing constitutes a off track. It might even vary from corner to corner.
Yeah, I think you generally just want to make sure that you're keeping your center of your car
Right.
over the rumble. Feel like that's about where iRacing starts calling you out as we see him come through this section again here. You can charge up on it and it will be fine, but sometimes you're getting close.
Especially this right-hander here. Really crossing the line, touching the line. Get a good run on this long back straight. East Seaside. Side by side into turn 1, Nick Calguru and Aaron Mitchell with red and white car, I think. Might be Steve Hansel or Francis Faustino, one of them.
Yeah, they've got Francis in the middle there. Francis running top 10. So mixing in here with the midfield
Oh,
after the
Francis
pit stop.
goes inside. Nice job, Francis. He's come a long way. Fun to see Francis progress his driving skills. Very aggressive there. I like it. Some more of that, please, Francis. Serve it up. Head it to the front. See where it gets you. Brian Coxon, Michael Odell. Side by side, Rod Cabiltas and Justin Glickner, I believe.
I believe he's working on Jason Wahlberg here
Wahlberg. Thank you.
for 11th place.
Jason
With
Wahlberg
Justin,
in the AMG Mercedes. Go ahead.
they've got
Sorry.
Justin Gleckner there just behind him coming out of the hairpin.
Nice. That's 4th position. 11th, 12th, and 13th. In the lead of the AM division for Ron Gabiltas, especially after Ian Bacaitis at the turn 1 meeting with the wall of tires. Jason Wahlberg, I wish you could see that paint. You can see it kind of on the name detail. Pretty awesome looking car for Jason Wahlberg. Just outside the top 10 with 45 minutes to go. Might be able to break into the top 10. Huge 28 car field started the race tonight. Running the top third of that would be mission accomplished for about anybody. Jason Phillips has got around CJ. Only just is not leaving.
Still a lot of time here on the clock. And with the size of the track and the size of the field, the types of passes that we just saw Francis Faustino make will continue. So we may see somebody run into trouble as they try to make their way through the back of the field. Hopefully not, but should get interesting here to see if any of these gaps start to close up.
Pitch
As
black darkness. Go ahead.
Chase Fincher here is now separated from Johan de Roy with Justin Kleckner. So here now on our first two lead cars, we're getting some more space there for Johan de Roy as Chase Fincher looks to get his way around Justin Kleckner. So the leaders are solidly in the middle of the pack here.
Going to be some accordion effect, plus the second, minus the second as they work through traffic. 1.5 seconds so far. The difference between Johan de Roy and Chase Fincher. So Johan doing a little bit better of a job working his way through the traffic.
Yeah, it looks
And that's
like
just
Justin conceded that corner to Chase there. Good guy Justin. So nice to see that, but Chase has a little more work to do now to close that gap back up as he's got Ronald Kabiltes now in between him and Johan.
I was never one of those guys to run at the front of the field like this. I'm sure it's got to be a lot of fun and big rush of adrenaline. Chase and Johan, and almost always in traffic or in a battle with the car up the road. Huge adrenaline rush, and to keep that up for 100 minutes, 41 minutes to go. These guys do it week after week after week. It's just amazing. The cream rises to the top. Michael Odell, Chase Fincher, Ryan Cox, and Ron Cabilta's in the AM side. No, he's into the wall. Ron
He's
Cabilta's
sideways.
is not moving.
Oh, he's in the runoff.
Pitch black darkness. Which turn is that? Here's a replay. We're doing the best we can at night.
So he's on the inside here and just was never gonna make it. Looked like he had plenty of room in the runoff. But
again, the TC, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, the
long 3-point turn. You can't get any wheel spin.
You absolutely understand the Austin Powers bit
right
in the hallway when you are in a GT4 car trying to turn around in something that narrow. So it is infuriating to say the least.
Well, Ron's got a huge lead in the M division. Looks like he's not going to lose too much off track, but we can't have too many of those. Taylor Montague now 8 seconds up the road. More importantly, no positions between Ron and Taylor. So no huge points lost right now.
Looks like they do have John Daniels in between them, but I would have to imagine that John might catch Taylor here in a couple laps.
Yeah, sure. I mean, for points at the end of the race.
Sure.
So that's cool. Looks like I'm hearing from race control. He was on the mic. Ron mistook who was next to him and then realized wasn't who he thought it was and decided use the runoff instead of making a move. Thought he was racing for position. Turned out to be a lap car. But anyway, Ron only loses one position on the track. Is Michael Odell using the bumps. And Brian Coxon less than a second right behind him. This is for that final step on the podium. They each won it. Championship points at play.
We're looking at the two closest cars on track right now after couple incidents and pit stops. Field spread out a little bit, at least as far as position goes. Johan de Roy's lead extends out to about 2 seconds now as Chase Fincher dives up the inside, avoiding Ian Bakaitis, making his way back out after that fast repair. So
There it
good to
is.
see him got back out there.
That's right.
Good work to do for Chase Fincher.
Between the GT4s and the F3, we used to call Johan de Roy the alien. He was always up front, dominating. He and Max Bauer. Now Johan de Roy picking up where he left off. Canada's very own Johan de Roy. French speaking Canada, so we might get to talk to him at the end of the race. We'll see. Chase Fincher might have something to say about that, but running almost perfect line around the hairpin. And the Aston Martin, Johan de Roy, comes around the hairpin, under the Acura bridge, past pit lane. 36 minutes to go. And don't forget, we have one more stop. Yes, he is, Johan de Roy, the alien. Cool to see a couple of aliens have joined Midwest Motorsports. As you can see, Johan de Roy getting sideways in the Aston Martin, putting the power down, lap after lap after lap. 23.919 fast lap for Chase Fincher that last lap, so do not count him out. From 2.1, almost gained almost half a second that lap.
Yeah, that was his best lap, so he is picking up the pace now as he works to gain and close that back up. He's picked up about half a second here.
Mission impossible for Chase Fincher. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, sir. Reel in another 1.5 seconds between now and 34 minutes. So it should be about 20 minutes to go is when I expect to see the far end of the fuel stop, if we're going as long as you can. Or 15 minutes or so.
Looks like Justin Gleckner's our first taker at the second pit stop.
Yes, you can make it from here. Sold out crowd at Long Beach. You can see the bleachers filled up. The longest running major street race in North America. Long Beach started in 1975. Formula One first came in 1976. Thank you, Wikipedia. Colton Herta in IndyCar is doing 105.3. That gives you an idea of the difference. If you want to get a piece of the action, midwest-motorsports.com. All of our socials are on the screen. First place to check, midwest-motorsports.com. You have oval racing Friday nights and Sunday nights. Friday with the Craftsman Truck Series, Sunday with the Next Gen. Tuesday nights are GT4 Road Series. You're watching now, midwest-motorsports.com. Go there, take you to our Discord, check the rules out, and come join the fun. Entries are always free and always open. You don't have to wait till the start of a season. They're the 3 series. Chase Fincher's reeling him back under a second now. Once again, always free and always open. Come join the fun. Oval or Road Series, we got something for everybody.
we've got a couple people a week joining at this rate, so it's good to see new people showing up and signing up to join here. It gives me something to do to come in here and add your name to the list of drivers and in our race systems. And we love to do it because it means we have drivers and field size, and it's makes it much more enjoyable to do this, to have people show up and put on a show here. So if you think you can hang with these guys, come jump in.
That's right. Put the pedal where your mouth is and show us. Thanks again to all the admins that make Midwest Motorsports possible. Everybody volunteers, including you, Adam. Thank you very much. CJ Barzak gets turn one. Does he make contact with the wall? Yes, he does, just barely. Even in slow mo, it looks like it hurts. CJ, find a gear and get it back going, buddy. All right, not too bad. You've seen much worse. And here's Johan DeRoy on lap traffic. Chase Fincher has reeled him back in. Who is that blue? Is that Aaron Mitchell? Johan gets by. Thank you, BMW. I'm not sure exactly who that was, but he did his
Yeah,
best to get out of the
that
way.
was Aaron Mitchell there.
Thanks, Aaron.
Stuck to that outside line. Not always comforting to see as you're going into the final turn of that section that the two leaders are right behind you in a tight battle.
Does Chase get a run into the slipstream down the long back stretch into the final turns? 10, 11, 13, 12? I'm sorry, 9, 10, 11. 11's the hairpin. Hard on the gas, the Aston Martin accelerates with Chase Fincher and the McLaren right behind them. Chase Fincher with a little better run. You can see the gap getting smaller and smaller, but ever so slightly, not enough. This time into turn one, you got to get it perfect once again, as we're starting lap 48 now. And to get it this perfect for 48 times with the driver like Chase Fincher right behind you. Johan DeRoy took over on the overcut about 40 minutes into the race. We have one more stop to go. They've got 10 more minutes to do it, if my fuel estimates are correct. Is Johan going to undercut again, overcut again? I'll have to wait and find out. Brian Coxon's still trying to figure out a way around Michael Odell. The last pit stop exchange, they were 11 seconds behind the leading duo, and now they're 15 seconds back. Both of our leaders have led 22 and 26 laps respectively, so 50-50 on the laps led. Right now, these two guys, Michael Odell leading Brian Coxon in third and fourth, have not been separated by more than a second. As Johan and Chase start their 49th lap.
Chase getting close enough now to put real pressure on.
Right on him. Gets a good suck up under his wing on that long straightaway. Gonna take a big move to surprise Johan DeRoy. Great shot in the dark, looking back.
Yeah, these two have really been the class of the day. Johan getting through that section about half a second more quickly than Chase Fincher, who was about a tenth off going into that section.
Ooh, lost another half second in that corner. I think in the middle twisty bits is where McLaren suffers a little bit. He makes it back up on the straightaways. Johan DeRoy muscling the Aston Martin around the hairpin one more again. One more time. Here's Chase Fincher. 1/100th of a second at a time. The gap gets smaller and smaller, but not enough. Got 8/10 to make up now.
Yeah, the McLaren's getting a great run down that long stretch where it can really air out its RPMs.
The best battle right now, you're watching it, for the lead. Closest cars on the track, closest battle on the track. We don't want to take our eyes off the leaders. They work their way through turns 6 and 7.
Making their way here up to Justin Gleckner, who is holding down 13th.
Putting the power down out of turn 8.
Tires might be crying a little bit as they're starting to clip the outside wall there, just get a little more slip angle than they were earlier in the run.
Who's going to pit when?
Nice patient run there from Chase. Really
Oh my
maintains his
goodness.
speed into that hairpin.
Now Glickner. Not quite there for turn 1. Another lap car exiting the pits. Ooh, who's that Glickner?
Yeah, I believe Steve Hansel is just
Hansel.
coming out of the pit there.
There's 3 or 4 white Porsches with a red stripe or 2.
The Midwest Motorsports admin team, without the help of our dear Aaron Holroyd, stuck with the white Porsches. So we'll have to get Aaron back in to bring
That's
some
right.
color to these poor admins.
We'll start a GoFundMe.
Go paint me.
Go paint me. I like it. 0.3 of a second now. Chase Fincher in the slipstream. No doubt about it. Johan DeRoy sweating bullets. The Alien leading Chase Fincher. Chase definitely stronger on the long runs. Can't blame too much of that on traffic at all. Who's going to pit first? Going to happen in the next 5 minutes. 0.3 of a second. Is Chase brave enough to pop out in turn 1? The best passing opportunity. Johan plays a little defense. Driving in the middle of the track is going to hurt him on the exit. Into the fountain section we go. Beautiful flowers around the fountain in the aquarium.
Just got a little deep there coming out of the fountain, but the good news in this section is, as the lead car, it's hard to get overtaken through there. So even if you do have a little bit of a fumble, the car behind you is going to subsume some of that hold up. So you definitely don't want to be the trailing car going through the fountain section.
All right, who are we catching up to now? It looks like a yellow BMW. David Stark, Calguru maybe. All good. Chase Fincher filling up the mirrors of Johan DeRoy.
Yeah, these two are working their way now into overtaking the top 10. So,
Amazing.
it's been a long race here, but these two have really separated themselves from the rest of the field. And to the tune of 17 seconds over Brian Coxon and Michael Odell and John Daniels, who are very good drivers. So these two really came to drive today. Jason Phillips looks like he's taking his pit stop.
In that 10th position. So good for Jason. And yes, that is David Stark, the Jags BMW. Not sure if he knows he has the leaders on him.
He does.
I love Midwest Motorsports, man. Everybody's doing their best pay attention and make sure everybody gets the best run. David Stark lost almost no time in his own personal race inside the top 10. I let him go just in time at the right time. So perfect display of sportsmanship and keeping on pace with your own race.
Yeah, we're getting to the point now where I know that in their sim rigs, these guys are starting to sweat from places they'd rather not sweat.
Yeah.
Maybe the water bottle's a little less full than it used to be, or maybe empty. So we're really getting into the heat of this moment. It starts getting strenuous here, and it sounds ridiculous, but running a race this long in your sim rig is tiring. It's
On a
wearing.
street circuit, especially with the hairpin.
Absolutely. Oh,
Oh,
it looks
Johan
like.
in the wall.
Oh, wow. He
He's
should be
able to
able to
hold
hold
it.
on.
Did he get damage? Chase Fincher applying the pressure. Johan DeRoy, little sweat dripping down onto his hands now. Maybe on the balls of his feet. His foot slipped off the brake pedal or in the darkness
He
missed
got a
his
great
braking
exit
point.
there. Critical to get a
Man,
great exit there, and he was smart enough to know that after that mistake, he had to nail that exit and lined it up perfectly.
and at least a 2X, they start to add up, especially with an extra 40 minutes in the race. 15X is still the limit. An extra 40 minutes to stay clean. So
Yeah,
put a couple more.
we haven't had any reports from race control recently of anyone receiving a drive-through, but I can't imagine we're too far away in these last 20 minutes from seeing a handful of them potentially.
How many laps can these guys go? They got to stop sometime soon. There he goes. Chase Fincher decides now's the time. Johan stays out. Here we are. The moment of truth. Johan DeRoy in the lap of a lifetime. We saw what happened last time. Hopefully, he breaks in time this time and does not get any more damage. Nice and smooth. Around the fountain he goes. Chase Fincher in the pits. Looking for stop time. He's going to take tires again. I don't see his car jacked up at all.
Looks like Michael Odell pulled in there behind him. Brian Coxon staying out. The good news for both Brian Coxon and Johan DeRoy is they both have clean air
Clean
right
track
now
ahead.
while they are trying to push these overcuts. So this might work out really well for them that they won't have anybody to worry about. It's like Chase Fincher's on his way back out.
21.2 seconds. Just enough fuel to make it home. So now Johan DeRoy has the advantage of knowing exactly how long Chase stopped. Johan dives into the pits. Hard right hand turn into the pit on the pit lane speed limit button. Here comes Brian Coxon. I expect him to do the same.
No, he'll stay out.
No, double 2 lap overcut for Brian Coxon. He'll take over the lead. Riding with Chase Fincher. Johan DeRoy still in the pits. Where's Chase?
Just about to make the hairpin.
Turn 10. DeRoy on pit exit. DeRoy with a 18.9 second stop for DeRoy. So doing almost 3 seconds shorter lap time. Does Johan DeRoy now need to play a little bit of fuel save? Lift and coast a little bit. He's going to have about 2 second lead over Chase. 3.5 seconds, Chase Fincher. Johan
Wow.
DeRoy right behind Ron Cabiltas. But yeah, that's all pit stop. 18.9, so 19 seconds. For Johan, 21.2, 2 seconds lower for Chase Fincher. Turns into a 2.8 second lap. So Johan Roy back in the tire warm-up phase. Hopefully no traffic. But I mean, 2 seconds, Brian Coxon dives in. Hard right turn into the pit lane. For Brian Coxon, that's going to give up the lead. Where does he come out in relation to Michael Odell? Thank you, Adam. Great camera work, by the way, man. Thank you very much for all you do for Midwest Motorsports. We appreciate you, Adam. Good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to be able to have access to these feeds and show people what's happening here and try to piece the story together of this race.
We could write a book. This is race 8 of 16. Each race has had its own unique story, its own unique chapter in the season. Johan Roy, 2.8 seconds ahead of Chase Fincher.
Chase Fincher appears to be making a little time up, but I have to imagine Johan was elated with the success of his pit stop and overcut run there. I mean, that's to be tenths of a second behind or ahead of your closest competitor and then come out 3 seconds ahead on the overcut. I mean, that's about as good as you can want. So he's got 17 more minutes here to defend about a 3-second gap on Chase Fincher with traffic. So Chase does have some people between him and Johan. Looks like he has Ron Cabiltes here between the two. So there is work for Chase to do to make his way up to his closest competitor.
And Brian Coxon's 2-lap overcut has put him in front of Michael Odell by 2 seconds as well. Awesome. Brian Coxon should be thrilled with that. 2-lap overcut. Little fuel save. He had to stretch that fuel tank as long as he could. And Michael Odell beating himself up. Let's see what the different pit stops were. Again, 18 seconds to 21 seconds. 18 seconds for Brian Coxon. Just 2 laps shorter on the fuel fill. Can't be that much. As we have fast lap of the race, new fast lap. 123.88 for Chase Fincher in second. So the fastest car on the track, trying to reel in the leader.
Yeah, he's made his way around Ronald Cabiltes, and now he's got 15 minutes to do what he knows he needs to do. I think he's been running a very clean race today, so we'll have to see how quickly he can try to catch back up.
Does he have another gear, Adam? I mean, these guys have been
he's
got purple lap after purple lap, and now
he's got Aaron Mitchell to get around, and I know Aaron will give way.
Thanks, Aaron. Hope you like that new M4, buddy.
It looks nice. It's beautiful. I appreciate the purple. More purple in race cars, I say.
For sure. Bring it.
Yeah, these tires will start to be getting threadbare for most of this field now. So we'll see if there's any fall off for the folks that have been pushing. I imagine the walls are getting closer and closer and closer.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. Johan Roy does not have too many mistakes like he did earlier in turn 1.
He's been consistent through this section all day long. Gets a great exit from that section.
Max attack right now for Chase Fincher 2.1. Can he do it? 14 minutes left. Hard to believe. The addition of these endurance races has been awesome, if you ask me. Awesome addition to the schedule.
Yeah, I think that the skill and the strategy that we've seen drivers develop in this league, especially those that have been running endurance races outside of the league in officials or in other leagues, I think has really demonstrated the skill and ability that a lot of the drivers in this series have picked up. More than a few of these drivers have really brought a lot of speed. I mean, specifically Brian Coxon and Michael Odell and John Daniels, I know have picked up a great deal of speed in the past year, which has been really amazing to see. And I know they've all been running a lot of other endurance races, so that's been great to see, especially as Michael Odell gets real seat time
Yes.
out in the spec Ford.
And he says, surprisingly, a lot of it does relate. Not all of it, but definitely one helps the other. We spoke with him, Anthony, myself, spoke with Michael Odell for almost just over an hour. You can go back and find it on the Twitch stream and YouTube as well. Cool down lap. Michael Odell. Really cool dude. He told us all about his racing career, starting off in karts, progressing up. Johan DeRoy, I believe, does some in real life racing as well. Maybe we'll ask him about that. But right now, Chase Venture's reeled him in 4/10 in the last 2 laps.
Michael's a real enthusiastic guy, so
Yes.
check out what he has to say.
He's probably not too happy about getting overcut by Brian Coxon. I don't want to be on the other end of that transceiver.
He's reeling him in a little bit. There's still a good amount of time for him to try to get something done. It is difficult to reel the McLarens in here as they really like these long runs where you can grab fifth gear.
Right. Where's Jason Phillips? He's 6. Unbelievable. Made it back up to a starting position. They're spinning around, dropping to 17th.
Yeah, Jason's pretty resilient. Made his mistake right at the beginning of the race and worked his way back up. Beauty of the endurance race is you have a lot of time to clean up and get back to where you were. Take some trade-offs in your strategy, perhaps.
Like Michael Adele's caught back up to Brian Coxon. Less than half a second now. Brian Coxon feeling some pressure. Michael Odell definitely found another gear. See if he can suck up right on his wing. Oh, Brian Coxon gets a great run out of the hairpin. And like you said, Adam finds if he gets up into fifth.
Yeah, he's digging in there.
Sixth, 138.9, 140.
He's picking up about 2/10 already.
143, the top speed for Brian Coxon. Look at that BMW reel him in on the way to the fountain. That's the M3, I believe. I don't think you can go back and forth.
Michael Odell showing the spirit of a real road racer. No need to upgrade your car. It's the car you already have.
I don't know what you got. That's right.
$15 won't make you faster. It will make you feel better.
You not on that 40% off or that 40 plan there, Adam?
My
40 items and you.
My girlfriend's in the other room. I refuse to answer the question.
Good for lead the fifth. I shouldn't have even asked. All good.
No, the new BMW looks really nice. You know, it is ridiculous to buy cars you're not going to race consistently. Can definitely be a waste of money, but the models in this game are really wonderful and do feel very different. So it's, enticing to wonder. So just have to wait for testing days to try them for free.
There you go. I'm all about it. Michael Odell applying pressure. Mr. Smooth, Brian Coxon. 8 minutes to go. They both hit the wall. Again, finding the limit. Monkey see, monkey do. Put the power down, Michael Odell. Fourth gear. Into the final twisties before the hairpin. Great shot over the hood of Michael Odell's BMW, looking up at Brian Coxon's same livery he's had for 3 seasons. Maybe we can all pitch in and buy Brian Coxon a new paint while we're at it.
At least it has color.
That's true. It's not white.
I think the interesting thing here with this track is even with the degree at which it's narrow, and you might not be able to get around people in a lot of spots, there are definitely different ways to take these turns. And I think you see it here, in the follow cam, you see how different these two cars are attacking these turns. As Michael Liddell sets up outside to get a run, it looks like. See if that works.
Two
I think it worked.
See, side by side in turn 8. Can they do it? Coxon on the inside. Keeps him honest. Oh, near the exit. Michael Odell back in the slipstream.
I might owe Michael Odell money for following up with the point that I'm making.
Man. Here they set up for the hairpin. Coxon a little bit tighter. 6 minutes to go. Johan DeRoy through turn 1.
Chase
No
Fincher's
contact
been a
with the
second.
wall. Chase has reeled him in. 2.5. Now under a second. They ebb
now
and
have
flow through traffic.
3 cars as 3 battles here running to the end of this endurance race, 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Jason Wahlberg looking up at David Stark. David Stark getting up on the 3 wheels. Brian Coxon holding off Michael Odell for now. Oh, Michael Odell is on the hunt. They have a lap car up ahead. Coxon holds the line through turn 6 and 7. Again, can Michael Odell cross over? Stay side by side through turn 8? Nope. That's where Thaler hit the wall earlier. The better run on the exit. Side by side, here we go. This is it. The overhead shot's going to give it to us into turns 10. Turn 11 is the hairpin. Are they going to go too wide through the hairpin? Michael Odell's not going to force Brian to do that. Brian says, thank you, sir. That could have been ugly for both of us.
Michael, a patient driver. I think I would say both of these drivers are patient and don't tend to make moves that aren't on the table. But 4 minutes and some traffic up the road, plenty can happen. So I think it's wise to hold on to the cards. You still might be able to have a podium finish for Michael Odell, but getting inside that hairpin may have been more costly than successful.
Might have been a different story if they were coming to the line for the checkered flag. Oh, man. Incredible racing. Up front as well. Johan DeRoy now. Chase Fincher right on his tail. Got a lap car up ahead. Trying his best to stay out of the way. The AMG Mercedes. He's going to give Johan DeRoy a nice move. Thank you, sir. At 18.
Yeah, Taylor Montague there.
Thanks, Taylor.
Letting the lead pair by.
Holy crap, you think Michael Odell and Brian Coxon were racing for the Piston Cup. There's T10 Bravo, I believe Michael Odell's dad. How you doing, sir? Thanks for checking in on us. Battle for the lead has not been over 3 seconds during the pit lane cycles. And Brian Coxon did a 2-lap overcut over Michael Odell. Take that third spot for the podium, but we are still racing. We have 3 minutes to go. Gonna be this lap and one more, maybe two more. Battle for the lead. We're watching Chase Fincher in second with Johan de Roy, the alien, up front, and the Aston Martin by less than a second. You got to respect Chase Fincher's patience here.
Absolutely incredible. Not only patience just to make sure to keep your car clean, but I mean precision to keep executing lap over lap without picking up, a drive-through or needing a fast repair.
They have lapped all the way up to position 6 in 100 minutes. One more time clean through turn 1 for Johan de Roy. Saw him make a mistake earlier. Can Chase Fincher pile on the pressure? They have a lap car in front. Not exactly sure who that is. Might be
like Ian Bacaitis up the road.
Pull over, let him go. Thanks, Ian. Man. Here's Michael Odell and Brian Coxon once again. Can he do it? He's got one more lap after this one. Michael Odell tucked up to the rear bumper of Brian Coxon. No lights, only the headlights that you got. It's all muscle memory now, knowing where the corners are and the curbs. Back up front, Chase Fincher in second. Coming to the white flag. Barney has put the white flag in the air. 60 seconds to go. This will be the final lap. Johan de Roy and the Aston Martin leading Chase Fincher through turn 1. This is it. You get 8 more chances as they work their way through turns 2 and 3. Chase Fincher. I mean, he's got one more chance in the hairpin. That's about it. I'm hearing Chris Thaler blew his engine up. So he's done. But after 100 minutes, these guys are separated by 0.6 of a second, just barely half a second. Nose to tail the entire race. Chase Fincher scraping, using every inch of the track. Get down Shoreline Drive. On the EC side and around for the final time. Turns 9, 10, and the hairpin turn 11. Chase Fincher decides not to use the chrome horn. And unbelievable racing.
Wow.
Johan de Roy, in his return to Midwest Motorsports, going to bring home the bacon. The race for third continues. Brian Coxon just barely in front of Michael Odell as they finish their lap through 9, 10, and now 11. Chrome horn? Nope, not going to do it. Michael Odell gets beat by Brian Coxon's 2-lap overcut. Flashes his lights in congratulations after an incredible 100-minute race. Absolutely awesome racing. Shout out to John Daniels coming home in P5. And what a drive. Good job, John Daniels, working the pit strategy. Stay in front of Jason Phillips, who spun, dropped back to 17th, made it all the way back up. Exactly where his qualifying position was in P6 and the final car on the lead lap.
Yeah, our leaders made it through 75% of the field today, and still finished with 23.8 gap on the third place car. So absolutely a masterclass from those two drivers. Huge drive from Jason Phillips to come back and close this position down after being down in 17th with an incident on lap one. Incredible drives. Robert Snar and looks like Taylor Montague also making up about 10 positions from their start. So huge drives on making their way back through the field for a lot of guys.
Incredible racing. We have to see how the points play out. Michael Odell going to lose some points to Chase Fincher. Brian Coxon probably will still hold third. John Daniels, who's right there. Incredible racing, Adam. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah, a lot of parity up and down the field. We've got results here up, and we've got Johan de Roy here in his return, taking first place. Great run for him. Chase Fincher, after the Johan de Roy overcut, gave him a 3-second lead on the final pit stop. They're able to get back within about a second, had it down to about 6/10, 3 and 4 tenths at some points, but wasn't able to get it done. Not enough time left on the track, but after an hour and 40 minutes being that close is just incredible. Brian Coxon and Michael Odell similarly had a nice battle there to finish it out. Brian Coxon again also taking the overcut to make it over Michael Odell. Had to give himself about 2 seconds to work with there as they worked through the field. So Johan de Roy, Chase Fincher, and Brian Coxon, your top three. Michael Odell in fourth, John Daniels fifth, Jason Phillips making a nice recovery drive for sixth, CJ Barsak seventh, Robert Snar moved himself up 10 positions from his starting position for eighth. Jason Wahlberg ninth. David Stark 10th. Francis Faustino 11th. Justin Gleckner 12th. Taylor Montague winning the AM division in 13th after Ian Bacaitis had an incident. Ronald Gabiltes taking second in the AM division here in 14th position. Jesse Coffey 15. Nicholas Calguru 16. Aaron Mitchell 17. Steve Hansel 18. Ian Bacaitis after running into some trouble in 19th after taking some repairs. Chris Thaler 20th, Justin Thaler 21st after an incident, John Aslin 22nd, Logan Bull 23rd after an incident, Travis Rowe 24th, Kevin Bridges 25th, Shea McNeely 26th, Chris Hopper did not start today, and I believe that Brian Sarton did not start today either. So great run today from everybody. Unfortunate for those that ran into issues early, but that's Long Beach, baby.
Incredible endurance racing in the Midwest Motorsports Series up and down the field. I think we got Taylor Montague, your AM division winner. Hey, Taylor, it's James and Adam in the booth. You got us? Oh, there you
Yeah, I
go.
can hear you guys.
Hey, man, wait, thanks for joining us. First of all, man, what a great run. I know you had to work through some lap traffic as you guys were racing, but Ron, and you had several battles. Tell us about your race tonight, Taylor.
You know, just kind of coming into this, knowing that Long Beach is kind of one of my not so good tracks, especially whenever it comes to some night racing. But just wanted to get in here and race my race, and obviously it turned out pretty well for me. Admittedly, this is the first win in the league, so I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, congrats. We've watched you come a long way last season, and I'm sure it feels good to finish on top of the podium. First of all, we noticed big changes for the start procedure. How did that work out for you? I know you qualified actually quite a bit lower, so you were in the back of the pack. How did the qualifying procedure, start procedure work out?
I think a little bit of traffic there, just trying to get everybody situated into that single file, coming there into the hairpin. But I think overall it worked out pretty well. I got out of there unscathed and was able to, hit the hammer or put the hammer down not too long after Josh announced the start.
And exactly when did you get around Ron Cabiltas? Do you remember? Was it a hard fought pass? We were watching the couple races up front, so we
I,
missed seeing you take
I
over.
I wish I could say it was a hard fought pass. I think I ended up just undercutting him a little bit. He actually was in the pits whenever I passed him, and I believe when he exited the pits, he was about 20 seconds ahead of me, and I had to pit the next lap, and I actually ended up dropping a little bit of the fuel load trying to make my pit stop just that much faster.
Well, it paid off, man.
It
Congrats
really
to
did.
you. Congrats,
Thank
man.
you.
Hopefully, we'll see some more of this. We got another exciting race coming up next week. So, you ready to practice? Have you done
Oh
any
yeah.
practice for Brands Hatch? How familiar are you with it?
Pretty familiar with that one. I've raced there a lot here in GT4, as well as several other series. So, it's a track that I'm very familiar with, and planning on getting into the rig later this week and putting some laps in to make sure I'm in top shape for the race next week.
Well, we're back down to 60 minutes instead of 120. So maybe that'll be good for everybody. But man, great run. Congrats, Taylor. You've earned it, man.
Well,
Great
thank you,
racing.
thank you, thank you.
That's Taylor Montague, your AM division winner. Sorry, Adam. I should have asked if you had anything for him. We'll definitely make sure you get some talking into Johan DeRoy. The alien is back in the Midwest Motorsports Series. Johan, it's James and Adam in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got this.
Man, Johan, I know English may not be your first language, so we'll try to. We don't have a translator, man, so just do your best. But welcome back to Midwest Motorsports, man. Congrats, you had a win, but it wasn't easy.
No, it was very hard. A big shout out to Chase that gave me a lot of trouble today. The space was insane, and I'm super happy that the overcut have passed, and yeah, I'm super happy to be back, and I give a big shout out to everyone. Super happy.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. Adam, you got anything for the alien?
Did you have a sense that the overcut would give you that life,
Oh,
or did you?
yeah, yeah. To be honest, I had fuel on my tank, and I said to myself, okay, here we go. I will try it, and cross finger. I wasn't sure about that strategy, but it's pay out at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, great for you and Brian Coxon, who also took an overcut to get around Michael Odell and gave himself 2 seconds of lead. You both, as Chase Fincher and Michael Odell went in, ended up with clean track in front of you to really put down those laps on the overcut. So, really great pulls on the strategy there, and great laps to keep those going.
Yeah, clearly paid off today, and yeah, I'm happy because, as I said, I wasn't sure about that strategy. Um, Super happy that it worked for Brian Coxon too. Yeah, that's it.
So I want to ask you about, in the past we've had 60-minute races uh, this season and last season, which you missed out on. We missed you. We noticed you were gone, but what did you think about the extra 40 minutes in the 100-lap endurance racing? Was there a sweat coming all around, or is this not a big deal compared to some of the endurance racing you've done in the iRacing League?
Yeah, my body is sweating right now, but it's a super format of racing. To be honest, I do a lot of endurance races on iRacing, like 24 hours and things like that. But it's always a challenge to do long stint like that. So yeah, it's a complete other challenge versus the 1 hour race, but it's 40 minute. Um, how we say it's a good 40 plus minute. It's nice.
Yeah, and so before we talk about Brands Hatch, you really gave me and Adam a heart and throat moment when you missed turn one just a little bit. Did you receive any damage or just a couple of incidents?
Oh man, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I touched the wall, but I'm super lucky that it was a tire wall. I end up with no damage, but to be honest, if it was like how we say beton, or like harder wall,
Right.
it will be yeah, it will be over for me.
Yeah, luckily that section is pretty one line, so going into it a little bit slower, you're at least able to hold up the car behind you. So if there's a
Mhm.
place for it to happen, it was the right spot.
Yeah, yeah, but I still have blocked a little bit chase behind, so yeah, I said sorry, but it's racing.
For sure. Well, it was a lot of fun to watch, man. You guys were just cranking out 100 minutes, lap after lap, purple after purple after purple, and never varied more than, half a second. So,
Yeah.
and for all the top four of you guys, really, it was a clinic and really fun to watch and really exciting. Welcome back to Midwest Motorsports. You picked up right where you left off. You won the race, Johan. You sleep well tonight, man. Congratulations on a great victory.
Yeah, thank you guys for amazing work, and I will sleep well, and I will sleep well for all the week, and come back stronger for Brands Hatch.
Looking forward to it, man. That's Johan DeRoy, your winner, top step of the podium. Welcome back to Midwest Motorsports. Johan DeRoy put on another clinic, and that's another race for Midwest Motorsports team. Adam, really appreciate you joining us, man. What a great race. I'm really looking forward to next week at Brands Hatch where we get to do it all over again. This time only for 60 minutes.
Yeah, the water will last a lot longer in that one. Everybody's going to go out and catch a cold shower in the track showers and head home and go to bed. I'm ready.
That's right. Well, I'm going to do the same thing. I have another shot of the red breast whiskey before I hit the hay. But thanks to everybody for joining, pitching in. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again to all the admins that make Midwest Motorsports a great league. And as always, we're out of here. Don't forget to stay in your lane.